Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to give a demo about usage plans and API keys in API Gateway. We will understand what is a usage plan, how to restrict the request rate and total number of requests that individual clients can make to our APIs using usage plans. We will also see how to use API keys to authenticate to our API along with usage plan. So let's get started. So before going to the demo, let us first see some theory about usage plans and API's keys to understand it better. So what is a usage plan? Usage plan is a way to set up limits and throttling for your APIs. It allows you to control access to your APIs and manage how your users consume them. What can be done by usage plan? First is define API access quotas. You can set how many requests a user can make to your API within a certain time period, such as requests per day, month or week. Then you can apply throttling. You can set a rate limit on how many requests can be made per second. Throttling helps you to protect your backend systems from being overwhelmed by too many requests. You can monetize your API. If you are offering your API as a paid service, you can use usage plans to define different tiers of usage. For example, basic, pro, premium, with corresponding rate limits and pricing. Now, what is an API key? An API key in API Gateway is a unique identifier that allows developers or clients of the API to authenticate and control access to your API. When a client makes a request to your API, they include their API key in the request headers. API Gateway then uses this key to identify the client, apply any associated usage plans, and authorize the request. When you create a usage plan, you can associate it with one or more API keys. So to understand this a bit more better, let me give you an example. We will see a API from one of the popular API hub, which is Rapid API. So let me open that portal. So this is a Rapid API portal. This is the world's one of the largest API hub and is used by many developers to find, test and connect to thousands of APIs. So in this you can find many APIs with different usage plans. For example, let us click on some of the APIs. Let us see this. In the pricing, here it is they are saying choose the right plan for you, so you can choose the plan based on your requirement. Here we can see there are different plans, usage plans like basic, pro, ultra, mega. So in the basic plan you can see the limits, like there is a limit of 50 requests per day in basic and 100 requests per day in pro, and in ultra you get 1000 requests per day. So in this way you can create a similar plan for your APIs using API Gateway usage plan. So let us now see how we can achieve this through a demo. So let me go to my AWS console and let us start our demo. So I will be first creating a new REST API with Lambda backend. So let me first create a Lambda function for the backend of our API. Create function. Let us say usage plan backend. So in this backend function we are not going to write any code. This function will just return the default message that is in this template code, that is hello from Lambda. So let us now create a new REST API. Create API, REST API build. Let us name it usage plan demo. And in this API, let us create some resources. Let us say get users. And in the get users resource, we will create a method of type get with Lambda integration with our new Lambda function that we just created, usage plan backend. And then let us create one more resource. Let me say insert user. And in insert user, create method, let us say we create a post method with the same Lambda backend. So we have created our API, new API with these two resources and methods. Now let me deploy it to a new stage, dev. Let us also create a new stage, prod. Let us say we have two stages. Stage name missing. What is missing? Prod, deployment. Okay, so we created two stages, dev and prod, and deployed the current API version to both the stages. So now let us test our API from Postman for one of the endpoints. Get users. So we got the reply from backend Lambda. Similarly, for post insert user, we should get the same reply. So we got the same reply, hello from Lambda. So our API is working fine. So now let us configure the usage plan. Suppose for get users API, I want to restrict. It is a get, so we got the error. Suppose get users. Suppose for this get users API, we want to restrict the number of API calls that a client can make in a day to suppose 5 for our testing purpose. So we can achieve this by creating a usage plan. So let us now see how to create a usage plan for our API. So to create a usage plan, here in the left menu, you can see there is an option for usage plans. Click create usage plan. Suppose the plan name is basic, and from these settings we can configure the throttling and quota limits. So rate is the number of requests per second that clients can call your API. Suppose 100 requests per second. And burst is the number of concurrent requests that the client can make to your API. Suppose this is also 100. So through throttling we can ensure that our API remains available even under heavy loads or unexpected spikes in traffic. API gateway automatically applies throttling by returning error code 429, which is too many requests, to indicate that the request has been rejected due to this rate limiting. And then we have another parameter request. We can turn on quotas to limit the number of requests a user can make to your API in a given time period. So suppose for our testing we give it 5 per day. You can configure it for per month, per week, or per day frequency. So let us say we want our API to be available to a user for 5 API requests per day. I am giving it 5 to so that we can test it easily. So click on create usage plan. So now our usage plan is created, and we have also created our REST API. Let us associate this usage plan with our API. So go to this usage plan and add API stage. So here we need to select the API, select your API and then choose the stage. So in our API we have deployed our API to two stages, dev stage and prod stage. So we will test it with dev stage. With dev stage we want to associate this usage plan. So select dev, and now we have this method level throttling option which is optional. So in method level throttling we can specify a rate and burst limits for our APIs at method level. So this is our resource get users. So for get users you can specify the rate limit, rate and burst options at the method level. So method name is get, you can specify here. We are not going to specify for our testing purpose. If you do not specify, then the limits that we have set at the usage plan level will be applied to all the methods. So click on add to usage plan. Now we need to associate this usage plan with an API key so that our clients can use this usage plan, or we can give this usage plan to our clients. So to associate the API key we need to create the API key. So either you can create the API keys from this option here in the left menu, or you can directly go from here, associated APIs keys, add API key, add existing key as we don't have any existing key. So create and add a new key. Let us name it basic plan key. Generate a key automatically. Add API key. So we have added the API key here and associated with our stage, dev stage, in the basic plan. Now let us test this plan with Postman. So in this plan we have given quota limit of 5 requests per day. So let us see how we can test it through Postman. So to implement this, to apply this quota limit, what we need to do, we need to add a new header here which will be our API key, X API key, and here we need to give the API key value. Copy this API key and paste it here. So this is the first invocation. We are through this usage plan we are allowed only 5 requests per day. So let us see if it works for more than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in the 6th invocation we got the message limit exceeded. So in this way we see how we can associate a usage plan with our API using the API key. So one thing, there are some key points to note about the API key. API key is a sensitive information and you should treat them like passwords. They should be securely stored and transmitted. And an API key can be associated with only one usage plan for each stage of your API. So if we go again here, so API key, this API key can be associated with only one usage plan for each stage of your API. For example, here we have added this API key for the dev stage, and however this usage plan can have multiple API keys associated with it, and a usage plan can be associated with more than one stage. For example, if we can also associate with this usage plan with prod stage, or for prod stage we can define another usage plan where we can give more number of requests per day. So using this API key you can configure your APIs for your specific requirements. This includes setting quotas, throttling limits, and associating with different stages of your API. So now we have seen how we can use stages, associated stages, API keys, and this usage plan for limiting our API request quotas. Now another use of API key is for authentication. So for authentication, how we can use the API key? Go to APIs, go to your API and go to the method, and in method request, edit. Here you can give this option, enable this option, API key required. So now, and after this, deploy the API. Now this API key can be also used as an authentication mechanism, where the API will not invoke without providing the API key. So if I remove this XAPI key, then we will get the error that this invoke is forbidden. So in this way we can see that we can use the API in combination with usage plans to control rate limits on our API, and also API key can be used as an authentication mechanism as the limit is exceeded, so we got this error. Now let us see different use cases of API keys and usage plans. So first is access control and authorization. Usage plans allow you to control access to your API by requiring API keys, which we just saw. And by configuring usage plans, you can restrict access to certain endpoints based on the plan user subscribes to, which we saw in our demo. Rate limiting and throttling. You can enforce rate limits and throttling to prevent abuse and ensure fair usage of APIs. You set limits on the number of requests per second for each plan, and API gateway will automatically throttle requests that exceed these limits. This helps to maintain the performance and availability of your APIs and prevents them from being overwhelmed by excessive traffic, which we just saw in our demo. We can use usage plans and API keys for monetization and billing. For commercial APIs, usage plans can be used to implement strategies by charging users based on their usage. You can create different tiers of usage plans, which enables you to track and monitor usage at the individual user or application level, making it easier to generate billing reports and invoices for your customers. Developer onboarding and management. This is one of the use cases where usage plans are useful for onboarding new developers. You can offer different plans to cater to developers with varying needs and budgets, such as free trial plan for newcomers or a premium plan for power users. And then we have this use case of usage tracking and analytics. API keys provide a way to track usage and analyze traffic patterns for your APIs. By associating API keys with usage plans, you can monitor usage at the key level and gain insights into which clients are consuming your API resources. This information can be used to optimize performance, identify trends, and make informed decisions about capacity planning and resource allocation. So these were the use cases of usage plan and API keys. So this is all about in this demo. I hope you have liked the video. If you like the video, please leave your comments, any feedbacks or suggestions in the comment box. And if you have not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Thank you.